By the end of this video, you will be able to create a product management assistant that categorizes user feedback, prioritizes features using RISE framework, and drafts clear product specification. And finally, it creates a GitHub issue. For those of you who are new here, we are creating a full stack AI product. Be sure to check out the link in the description. We are actually looking at this feature number 8 called Product Management Assistant. What it does, it simply gets the user feedback, then prioritizes the feature development using frameworks like RISE, and then finally create a product specifications. And based of all, it creates the GitHub issue by itself. Okay, first thing first, let's look at the Google form where we are collecting the user feedback. You can see all the information that has been asked, the full name of the user, email, feature, and the issue title. Then there is a description for the problem or the feature to request, and there's a category. It can be a bug fix, UI improvement, performance optimization, new feature request, and things like this. We are also asking for how many people are affected with this feature, things like that, right? Impact label, urgency label, and any additional nodes. So what happens after everything is filled here? Well, it goes to this spreadsheet. Right now, you can see there's a sample data here, right? The first one is about the full name is Onia Tessa, email is there. Feature is actually, let's look at the feature requested so we have a better understanding what is going to happen next. Need on-demand AI courses with mentor support. All right, so this is a feature, and description we can read here what the user is providing feature or the feedback about, the category, all this information is here. So this is our sample data. Now what happens? Let's go to our n8n and let's see what happens as soon as there's a new data populated or submitted in the form. Well, this is our workflow. Let's look at it one by one. So as soon as the form is submitted, right, the spreadsheet is updated with the new data here. And then that will trigger a node in our n8n workflow that says Google Sheets trigger. So this is actually set up on row added. So this is basically on row added. It will get the data from this form, from the list, from this document, and from this sheet. Trigger is on row added. Now, if you have not configured the Google Sheet trigger account configuration, you can check out a link in the description below so you can properly set up how to connect your n8n instance with your Google account, so there is no confusion there. All right, so if you need help, be sure to check out the link in the description. All right, so with that said, let's go to our next block. It says clean and structure data. Basically, after we get the data from our Google Sheet, we need to structure that in such a way that our LLM model is able to read, right? You can see here, I'm basically getting the data from the Google Sheet. This is our input. This is the function or whatever we are trying to process. And this side, the right-hand side, is our output. Great. So what is happening here? Well, for each and every record on the left, we are running this code logic for once, basically returning a nicely formatted data. Okay, you can see here, it's not much going on here. Basically, the timestamp is mapped to this, timestamp, everything is lowercase, your full name is mapped to name, email is mapped to email, feature or issue title is mapped to title, feedback is mapped to the describe your feedback question in the form. Great, so this is good, right? Easy. Now let's go to the next block. This is where we are talking to our Google Gemini chat model. Well, basically, let's double click here and let's see what's going on here. The input is our clean and structured data node. You can see clean and structured data node right on the left side, and this is connected to our basic LLM chain. Well, what does it do? It simply gets the user's data, and then you can read the prompt here. I provided the prompt. Based on the product feedback, estimate missing values for RISE framework. And you can see feedback, category, reach, impact, confidence percentage, effort, and things like this. Okay, just because a user has provided a feature does not always mean that the company has to prioritize if there is no significant confidence level that this is actually impacting a lot of people or a lot of users. Based on that, there should be some aware decision to be made as a business decision, right? So those things are taken care here. Well, what is the full form of RISE? What exactly is the RISE framework? Well, RISE is just a framework that the product managers use to prioritize a task or an issue. Basically, if you read here, reach, impact, confidence, and effort. So these 4 parameters are part of RISE framework. And based on these parameters, the product manager usually determines what should be the priority. If there are n number of priorities or the feedback coming from the user, so which one should go first, right? So those type of logical decision is made by the human using this framework. But now we are going to use that framework and supply to our LLM model, so it can be done by our AI instead. Okay, great. So let's see what happens here. Basically, we get the data, structured data from the left, and provide the prompt to our LLM model. I would say just return the JSON file, reach, impact, confidence, right? So these numbers are important for us. Great. Now let's see what happens. The next step is about parsing the JSON data. Now see, we ran the LLM model, the chain, right? And then whatever the output is provided by our LLM chain is requiring some parsing. Why? Because you can see the text is coming as a string, but that's not really helpful for us, right? If we want to map the data to different fields in the next step, we need to unpack this into a JSON data so we can map it. I mean, it's not rocket science going on here. Basically, what we are doing is we are pretty much getting the raw text from here and then removing the code block formatting. This is the code block. The triple this side is the code block formatting. This indicates the code block. And we are simply trimming the raw data and then parsing that to JSON. Well, if there's any error, we are simply throwing that and returning our data, right? Simply as that. Let's go to next block, the calculate RISE score block. It's also another simple JavaScript block where we are simply unpacking or getting data from here on the left, reach, impact, confidence, and effort, and providing that to a formula called RISE score. Basically, reach times impact times confidence percentage divided by effort. So that will give us a RISE score. Okay, you can see the formula executed and it gave us 4 or 5 score. Well, how does that help us in determining the priority level in product development? Well, we'll see that in the next step. It says here, draft product spec. Great. So what does it do? Let's double click here. If you expand this block, just clicking right here in the corner, you can see the prompt says you are a product manager. Based on the following feedback, write a 1-page product specification and feature title. Basically, these are the data mapping happening here. We are getting the raw data, data from the JSON mapping, right? You can see the parsing. Simply, it's coming from clean and structured data, this node, and simply mapping in here. Okay, we are now creating dynamic prompt to send to our LLM model and include sections, this, and pretty much we are expecting the LLM model to do the work for us. Great. So this is beautiful. Now you can see I've connected to Google Gemini chat model. If you have been following our videos, you might have realized that we use Google Gemini model pretty much over other models because it's free. If you go to Google Studio, it provides you the free API key without providing the payment info. So this is really helpful if you do not have the payment info to provide, right? Unlike OpenAI and stuff like that. Okay, this does the job for us. It is a very good model, so it is fine. Okay, let's go to next step. What happens after we provide this prompt to our LLM model or the Gemini model, right? So you can see what's going on here. You see the output coming from our prompt or the LLM. Basically, it's returning us some text in a nice formatted way. It's a string text, right? It's looks like it's markdown. So we need to find a way to unpack this as well. Well, let's go to the next block. That's exactly what we are doing here. Extract title and body for the GitHub issue. So at this point, we are supplying the RICE score calculated from the feedback to the Gemini model. Now, finally, the Gemini model does return the title and body for us in a text string format. And then you can see we need to now structure it properly so we can connect to GitHub and create an issue, right? So that's what we are doing here. Let's double click here. You can see I'm simply supplying the text input as a string here, and then unpacking that into two different key value pair, title and body. Title contains the title from here, and body contains the body. Well, title, you can also see the code. This is also another simple JavaScript. Basically, this is the return segment, right? The schema of the return data. Now, if you look at the title match, right? I'm just searching for the feature title from the output, and then that is considered the title match. And then the issue title, basically we are doing some regex matching here, and then issue title goes right here. But the issue body is simply the spec markdown. Great. Okay. It's also another straightforward data cleanup. Okay, great. So what happens after that? Well, this is something new we have not done already. Well, if you click here, it says connect to create an issue in GitHub. Great. So this is beautiful. Now that we have the title and body information extracted, we are finally ready to create that issue in a GitHub repository. Well, that's cool, right? So we can simply collect the data from the form and then expect that information to be collected to our GitHub repository as an issue, as a new issue. Well, that's very interesting. Now let's see how we are doing that. Well, double click here. Let's see. I'm connecting to GitHub account. You can see I'm connecting to GitHub API. Well, if you have never done this before, let me quickly show you how to do that. Okay, so in order to connect to the GitHub account as the GitHub API, you need to go to github.com/settings/tokens. Okay, either go here or go to developers setting, and from there click on personal access tokens, and here click on tokens classics, and you can see I've created a new token. But if you need new, you can click on generate new, go to generate new token classic. It will be done for you. Okay, and you can see I provided access to the repo, but I think that should be pretty much it. We do not need to provide access to anything else, but for our case that should be enough. Let's go to our tokens. Because we already got the token earlier, it's now impossible to get the token. But if we want to regenerate, we can do that, but it should be fine for us. But if you are creating this for the first time, you should get that window where it says the token information, and then you can copy paste that token for your use. This is a demo video, so I'm definitely exposing the token, but this token will be expired anyway, and it will be deleted. But make sure your token is kept safely and not shared to anybody else. Okay, now let's go to here. So after you connect your GitHub account, just click on resource and click on choose issues, click on operation create, and then repository owner, just put your username, GitHub username, your repository name of the repository that you are trying to work with. Title is actually now mapped to this title. If you have not done already, you can copy and drag and paste here, just like that, as simple as it is. And for the body, same thing, just drag body right here. Okay, that should be pretty much it. Now let's do one final testing. Let's click on tidy up button and clean up our workflow, and finally save it. Let's execute the workflow just like that. Let's click here. Let's see what happens. Great, it has completed the execution. Now let's go and check in our GitHub account and repository to see if the issue has been created. And look at that, we see this issue that is created. See, product specification, in-person AI fundamentals training program, problem statement is provided here. So everything was all generated by our LLM model, right? So this is created by our AI agent. This is great. It also has the acceptance criteria, suggested implementation notes, right? Beautiful. This can take a human an entire day to analyze and come up with ideas. But now, see, with the with AI and few API integrations, we're able to achieve these within a click of a button. If you like this video, please consider subscribing. It helps the channel a lot. And this was part of AI Engineer Bootcamp course. If you are interested to learn more about the program, be sure to check the link in the description. For now, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.